Hey guys, it's Jessie. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video and another reading vlog. Today we have another continuation in a series that I'm doing, which funnily enough is finishing off all the series that I'm currently in the middle of. So I started this last year as I wanted to kind of get my currently reading series list down, and we are kind of going again for 2024, and this is going to be the first episode. We're going to have about one a month, I think, I hope. And yeah, basically at the start of the year I said I wanted to get it underneath 10 currently reading series, which is a lot, which is a big goal, and yeah, we're a bit far off at the moment, so we are going to need a few of these videos to get that to go. But yeah, we make some good progress in this video. So I will show you now. This is what my currently reading series little list is looking like now. It's ordered by length of how many books I have left to read in a series. So just a couple of notes since last time. I believe the Liz, Pat and Thelma I added on, that series for like A Spoonful of Murder and stuff, I started that so far. The Ruinous Love trilogy I also started with Butcher and Blackbird. Chestnut Springs I've started with like the Heartless Flawless series, and also the Addicted series I have also started. So in this video I've decided I want to kind of do a mix of, I do want to have finished a series in every episode, but I also need to just make some progress in some series, otherwise we're going to run out of ones that we can finish easily in a video. So I've decided to finish off the One of Us is Lying trilogy today, or in this video I guess, not today obviously, because this is one that I do have the audiobook for, and I think that would be quite an easy one to finish off. That's only one more book. I want to make progress in the Chronicles of Alice series. So I've read the first one, this is the second one, and then there is a third one, which is I believe a collection of short stories, and I got this one pretty recently, so I'd love to make some progress in it. And then finally I want to make progress in the Addicted series, because I started that and they're pretty easy reads, so we'll be reading Ricochet in today's video. So yeah, we currently have 26 currently reading series, not including the ones that I am caught up on. So I need to finish 16 of these and not start anymore. So like realistically I need to finish a bunch more than 16 this year, so we'll see how we do. But yeah, that is pretty much what we are doing, and I'll catch up with you when I'm reading the first book. Hey guys, so time for our first update. I decided to start off with Ricochet, which is the second book in the Addicted series. This is a very short book. Most of the books I've seen anyway in the series are reasonably short, but this one specifically is 264 pages, so I'll definitely finish this off today. I don't think I'll have any trouble with that. So yeah, this is the second book in the series, so obviously likewise with the other books I won't be sharing too much of the information surrounding the plot, but where in the first book we were following two characters, this is just really following Lily and kind of delving into her kind of personal characterization, a bit into her backstory, kind of delving more into her, and I am enjoying it. I'm not enjoying it quite as much as the first one. I definitely think we're very much character focused, not plot focused in this one, and not a lot is happening, to be honest. I'm currently 62% of the way through and on page 166. It says I've only got an hour and 3 minutes left, so I'll probably sit down and binge this to finish it. But yeah, overall I'm enjoying it, but not quite as much as the first one. It's currently not seeming like a super necessary book, I can't lie. Like, out of the things that have happened in the 166 pages, I feel like this could have been a chapter or two at the start of the next book. And what I also don't like in here is that they are setting up for Rike and Daisy, and I know that like they are a couple further down, and I know people like them, and I presume, I really hope there's a big time jump, because at the moment they're 15 and 22 and they're like kind of almost flirting, and it keeps getting mentioned like that's inappropriate, but it's all like, yeah, I know, like I'm not being serious, I'm only joking, and then it's like, well, like you say you know, and you say it's inappropriate, but like it's still happening, and it's icky. It's really disgusting, I can't lie. I feel like they had the ability to make Rike younger. They could have made him 18. He's not the same age as Lily and Lo, so I don't know why they didn't just shift that down or shift Daisy up to at least 18. But yeah, like it's icky at the moment for me, like really icky, and I don't know how they're going to change it for their book for me to not be like, that is absolutely disgusting, because at the moment I'm like, that's a 15-year-old and a 22-year-old. Like they're no business they should have even like remotely talking about sex to each other, which they are, which is weird. But you know what, I'm going to try and put that aside and just focus on the book, so I definitely think I will finish this off now and I'll catch up with you when I'm done with it. Okie dokie, so time for an update. We have a little double update because I did finish Ricochet. I decided to give it a 2.5, not in a way of like I hated the book. It was definitely a very quick read. I didn't have any issues with that. I'm still continuing on with the series obviously, but just for me personally there really wasn't very much plot. It was very much focused on Lily as a character and kind of like her dealing with what she's going through and everything like that. It was only like 250 pages or so, but I definitely feel like this could have been like an extended epilogue or like a tiny little novella in between. Like, we really didn't need, I think, to focus this much on the same kind of repetitiveness, I guess. It just didn't feel very like interesting or new and fresh. And I think my main gripe with the book was that they were trying so hard to set up Rike and Daisy, and I literally can't stand it. Firstly, I just can't stand Rike as a character. I don't like him at all. I feel like he's really like confrontational and aggressive, and I feel like he really lacks empathy towards Lily. I like that he's so supportive of Lo and everything, but he seems to think that he knows everything and he knows best and what he says goes, and that's kind of like the way that things should be. But I really don't agree with that. Like, there's interactions with like professionals in this that go against what Rike says, and he's still like, yeah, no, I think I'm right, blah blah blah. And I don't like that he thinks that he, you know, knows everything. And also, like, even though he's supporting Lo, he's doing it at a detriment to Lily, and I feel like he's really unempathetic of her, which is crazy considering how much he cares about Lo's addiction, but like doesn't take Lily seriously at all and like thinks so little of her. I think it's really horrible. And also, getting on to the main topic, why are you talking about sex with a 15-year-old? As a 22-year-old, it's very odd. I know from people talking about it that Rike and Daisy are one of the main couples in the whole series, which is just absolutely repulsive to me, because she just turned 16 in this book and he is 22, and he's not in the same year as Lily and Lo. And I feel like, you know, you would have had to adapt a couple things in the story, but you could have so easily made him 18, or at least made her 18. Like, if you had her turning 18 in this book, I would even have been like, ugh, bit icky, but you know what, it's fine. There was literally no need to make her so young and him so old and have them like flirting with each other. And a couple of times that Lily mentions that it's like inappropriate, and he's like, I know, like, I've got no interest whatsoever, but like, just because you say it doesn't mean that like the actions don't make it still bad. Like, he's talking about sex, and not in an informative way, in like a kind of flirty, very like sexual way with a 15-year-old. Like, I think she says something along the lines of like, oh, like, there's so many things better than sex or whatever, and he's like, you just haven't been fucked, right? And I'm like, what are you talking about to a child? It's actually very much repulsive. And also, a side note, there's like a scene where a male character that gets like borderline sexual assaulted by one of these 16-year-olds. She like tries to sleep with him, like she crawls into his bed, blah blah blah, and he says it and everyone just jokes about it, they laugh about it, they're like, haha, like, you're a man, you know, whatever. And it was just, it really sat very wrongly with me, to be honest. Like, I can't lie. So I just had a lot of gripes with this book. I really don't know what they can do to make me support Rike and Daisy, unless at this point Daisy moves away for 5 years, or Rike moves away for 5 years and they don't see each other in this time, and then they come back together. I'm like, okay, maybe I could accept that. But if he's gonna watch her like grow into an adult, that's so weird to me. So yeah, overall, they really put me off the book. I feel like if Rike wasn't in it so much, it would probably have just been like a 3, 3.25, 3.5, like no real complaints. But yeah, I hate him as a character, so his like prevalence in this book was horrible. And on the contrary, I love Rose and Connor so much, I can't wait for their books. But yeah, cannot stand Rike whatsoever. But moving on, I'm now halfway through Red Queen by Christina Henry. I am up to page 158, and it's okay. I'm not enjoying it too much. It's kind of got the aspects of the first book that I just didn't really like too much. It definitely feels a little bit slow, and overall, I just don't know, I'm just not loving it too much. I'm definitely having to force myself to read it. This is the reason I've had to push back the video. So yeah, like, I'm just not loving it too much. But hopefully I will finish it this weekend. I'm heading to Scotland, so I won't be updating until probably I finish this, hopefully, and then this video can go up then, maybe, we'll see. But yeah, overall I'm just not loving it, unfortunately. So yeah, we're following the same characters in like a different situation. I'm definitely enjoying the kind of introduction of like other like magical aspects to the world building and things like that, but overall I'm just not oversold on it personally. So yeah, that's where we are at for now, and I'll catch up with you when I'm done with this one. Okie dokie, so I have just finished Red Queen. I'm home now, as you can tell. I finished it last night and then I put it on my bookshelf because I'm obsessed with just having all my red books in one place, and I really enjoy organising my bookshelf. So apologies that I'm not holding it up right now. But this one was a bit of a funny one. This one I really struggled to get into, and I think I remember this being a similar problem for the first book. I'm going to give it a 3 stars. I definitely just it wasn't even a lack of connection to the characters. I feel like I just wasn't invested and sold into the story. Like I didn't really care enough. It all felt very much like a book, if that makes sense. Like I didn't get attached in the way that I do with other stories. For me, it felt quite childish, not in the nature of the content, but more so just in the plotting and kind of the way things went. And I also felt like majorly, again, with the first one, there was such an underwhelming final like conflict slash conclusion, and this was the exact same thing here. I feel like in both these books everything just works out for Alice. Like she really doesn't have to actually do much to deal with these problems, and yeah, it feels very, very easy for her, which kind of makes the stakes feel quite low. So yeah, unfortunately this one did fall a little bit flat for me, and it took me so long to read. It's barely over 300 pages, and I think I was reading it for like 6 days or something. This is the reason why I had to like miss my Sunday upload, and this is going up on a Wednesday, because I literally did not finish this book in time, and it's such a short book, and I had to like force myself to pick it up. And like, it's not like it was difficult with the language, it was just like not very interesting to me personally. I kept looking everywhere for an audiobook, but I don't think they had one. They do have an audiobook for the third one, which I believe is 3 short stories or 4 short stories, so I think hopefully I'll have better luck with that one. A later video in this series will probably involve me reading the final book, and then yeah, I'm happy to put it behind me. I don't think I'll be reading any more of Christina Henry's retellings, though I know that she has a couple of other horror books. One, I think The House That Horror Built or something, is coming out this year, and I do think I'm interested in that, but I just don't think maybe that retelling is potentially my preference, maybe, or just her way of doing it. So yeah, unfortunately this was a little bit of a flop. So yeah, unfortunately not a success for this one either. Okay, so you'll be seeing a lot of me. Obviously this is the same place I filmed the intro. I am here to wrap up this video and also talk to you about the fact that I was so stupid and I deleted the footage of me talking about One of Us Is Lying, both my midway catch up and my final thoughts, which is so great. I love that for me, especially because I read it like a month ago, but it's fine, you know, like whatever. I am just going to try and talk to you guys about some thoughts now. I'm really sorry that it's not going to be as detailed as I know it was when I initially filmed it. I just like was really stupid, so very much apologies for that. But I listened to this all via audiobook. I had it from the library on my little BorrowBox app. So this is the third one in the One of Us Is Lying series. We are following the same characters as the second book, which is pretty much like some new characters with a couple of additions of the characters from the first book, if that makes sense. So at the start, and definitely kind of towards halfway through, I was feeling a bit like, oh, it feels a bit repetitive, it feels a bit boring, it feels very much samey, and like I didn't care too much for the characters. But I definitely think as time went on, it was kind of nice to be with familiar characters again, like just because it's quite easy and it's not too high stakes or anything like that. For this one, the mystery isn't all too exciting. I personally didn't like attempt to guess it, I never do, so like I wouldn't say I was surprised by the reveal, but like it just kind of made sense, if that makes sense. I feel like if you were to look from like an objective author point of view of like certain plot points and certain ways things were introduced, etc., and like, you know, differences between this book and the last book, maybe you would very easily be able to tell which characters were involved in which scenarios, if that made sense, like to be as vague as possible. Like I don't think it was surprising at all. Unfortunately for me, like it did just feel a little bit flat. Like it was definitely a very easy listen and I had a good time. I enjoyed myself whilst I listened to it, but it's nothing groundbreaking, it's nothing crazy. I definitely think this did not need to be a trilogy. This didn't feel like a story that needed to be told, and it really just felt like the second one as well, a little bit of a cash grab in my personal opinion. Like we could have left it at One of Us Is Lying and then kind of moved on. These characters I personally don't feel are like deep and interesting enough to like warrant being the star of these books, if that makes sense. But yeah, overall like I didn't really have any strong complaints about it per se. Again, like I had a very easy time listening to it. It wasn't like a slog to get through or anything like that, and now we have ticked a series off, which is fabulous. So I will just quickly wrap up. So obviously, as you saw, we read Ricochet in this video, which was okay. We had a very mid reading vlog, to be honest, I can't lie. 2.5, 3 and another 3, so you know, nothing exceptional. I do want my ratings to be a bit higher this year, and this hasn't exactly helped with that, but you know what, like it's fine, we move on. So I've now read 2 books in the Chronicles of Alice series, which means I have 1 left to read, and I've read 2 books in the Addicted series, which means I have 8 left to read. And obviously we have finished another series, which is always great. So now I'm currently in the middle of 25, not too much progress, but like it's fine. So again, to wrap up, Ricochet was just okay. It very much felt like a filler book. It could have been a novella, and there was too much inclusion of characters I didn't like. Red Queen, I just didn't feel super attached to the story, and it felt a little bit just slow and a bit childish to me, if that makes sense, as I mentioned earlier. And then with One of Us is Lying, yeah, nothing groundbreaking really. It didn't feel like it needed to be extended. So although it had a little bit of a flop of the books, like I still had fun reading them. I didn't have any like strong like hatred towards any of these books or anything like that, and I am happy to be ticking off series. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. Don't forget to give it a like down below, hit subscribe and turn the bell to join a little club, and make sure you turn on all notifications, then you'll be notified every single time I post a new video. And if you want to watch my other videos, there'll be 2 on the screen now to pick from, as well as they've linked up in the cards from earlier. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!